up, YouTube? We are not at home base. We are here at Live Casino. I do not like live to play poker, but of course you talking about we can't record no more, so fuck them. We over here now. Let's go. Now guys, what I'm learning about vlogging while playing poker, it is extremely difficult. So shout out to Brad Owen, Rampage, all those guys that inspired me to do so. Y'all are some tough cookies, man. It's extremely hard to take notes mid-hand. Try not to give off any live reads. Make sure you get all-in runouts. It's insane. And honestly, it's given me a newfound appreciation for not only poker, but poker content, as well as the support y'all have given me on my own channel. Like, it's a blessing. Thank y'all so much. So now, for our very first hand of the session, we get dealt Jack 7 of spades in the cutoff. The big blind makes it 10. 4 of us flat call. The button folds, so we're 5 ways to a flop in position. The flop comes 8, 3, 9 rainbow. The initial raiser checks, and now +1 leads out for 15. I think he would be doing this with a lot of 8x and 9x, as well as some hands that have a pair with a straight or flush draw to go along with it, like the 9-10 suiteds of the world, which means we could be holding each other's outs. +2 folds, and the hijack to my right calls. Now, this is why I love playing these kind of suited connectors in position. We have a gutter to a 10 and backdoor spades. Great price, in position, we call. The big blind calls as well, and the turn is the 6 of diamonds. We are now open-ended, along with our overcard, Jack, which might still be live. The big blind checks again, and +1 bets 15 again. This bet just screams 1 pair. He really can't have any nutted hands. 2 pairs and sets would want to bet bigger to protect against all the draws with such a dynamic card. The hijack calls, and I genuinely think about raising. The thing is, we're still 4-handed, and I'm still in position. I decide to flat with evil intentions. Big blind calls, and the river is the king of spades. Big blind checks again. +1 bets 15 again. I remember thinking at the time, ooh, I'm about to blow his ass up. You done fucked up, kid. The hijack folds. We brick, but we have a lot of things going for us. Now, no one really should have a king here, but I don't know if he knows that. And I think I could have some in theory, especially with the jack in my hand. We also have a 7, meaning we could rep a straight that got there on the turn. There's 185 in the middle. We need to make a bet that would get them to fold, of course, but we don't want to look like we're blatantly bluffing trying to rep the king. We raise to 65, 1/3 pot, repping value. Big blind mucks. Now, +1 thinks about it for a second. Come on. And folds. Then we play a hand with ace king of hearts. We raise it up pre-flop and then c-bet a king high board and take it down. Then I decide to go play 2-5. We're trying to get some noteworthy content for you guys. In this hand, we're on the button, raise it up to 30 with ace king offsuit. We end up getting 2 callers. The flop comes king high, all hearts. So I'm all in for protection and take it down. And the very next deal, we get ace queen of hearts, a beautiful hand. The pre-flop action goes raise, re-raise, call. And then we're all in on the flop and chop against another ace queen. And then we lose a few hands. Now we get dealt ace king suited again. This time we're in the big blind and there's 2 limpers to us. Flops cost $15 round these pots, partner, and both limpers call. And the flop comes king 9-7 rainbow. Check to us, and top pair, top kicker, we're gonna bet for value, and 30. We don't need a size too large. The cutoff folds, small blind calls, and we're heads up to a turn. I don't know what we're hoping to see, being that there's not many draws available. But just in case we were up against a draw, it comes a beautiful brick 3 of diamonds. He checks to me once again. I bet 75, and I specifically chose this sizing. I leave myself 90 behind, setting up a river all in that's a lot more palatable for my opponent. He takes a little while, but he finally calls. The river comes a 6 of clubs. He ends up putting me all in, which is kind of scary, like you got it straight, but he ends up showing king deuce, and we scoop. Then I get caught bluffing, trying to rep the hand that my opponent has and lose the trip 9s.
In this next hand, I'm in the small blind and I limp queen jack suited. And yes, I know this is a really bad idea. I should and normally would squeeze and attack all the dead money, but I like seeing cheap flops too. Who doesn't? The flop comes jack 10-4, 2 diamonds. We have top pair and all the backdoor draws with the 10 of spades out there. It's a 5-way limp pot. I decided to make a pot-sized bet of 25. The big blind now raises to 75 and everyone else folds. Now this is exactly why you don't limp these types of hands if you're gonna play them out of the small blind. I'm willing to bet my bottom dollar, which you'll see in a second, that he has some weird 2-pair like 10-4, some crazy shit, because I let him in the pot. Even if I think I'm beat, I still got the back door, so I think I can call. I decide to call and assess a turn. Now he puts me all in blind out of turn. It's such a weird action, I'm just confused. Anyways, the turn is the 3 of hearts. Too bad we don't have a brick draw. We would have the nuts. I only have 75 behind, I call. I should have thought about this when I limped. The river is the 10 of diamonds, which seems not to be very helpful. Oh, but it's helpful because he has jack 4, counterfeiting his 2-pair, giving me jacks and 10s with a queen kicker. Let's go! So 2 hands later, this is my favorite hand that I've gotten on camera. We've got 9-10 suited in the cutoff. There's a $10 straddle under the gun and the hijack limps to me. I like this hand as a raise, especially in the cutoff. So I make it 25. The player to my left on the button is the player I just doubled up through. It seems like he tilt calls, which invites 3 other players into the pot. Now I'm already thinking they can't have very many strong holdings, being that they limp overcalled twice. The flop comes deuce deuce 4 rainbow with 1 club. Now it's very difficult for anyone to have many hands that connect well with this flop, especially calling a raise from early position. They then check to me as the aggressor. Now, obviously, I have 10 high, but they can't see my cards. They don't know. I could have all the high pocket pairs as well as ace king that could be good on this board. I bet my range, making it 55, expecting folds and praying for them too, because you just never know at these stakes. The button calls and everyone else folds. Now, flat calling on the button twice, I think a lot of his range is suited broadways, ace high floats, and at best, middling pairs. The turn is the jack of clubs. It's the perfect card for me to put all those types of hands I just named in the air fryer. If we're bluffing flop, we're definitely going to be bluffing this turn, picking up backdoor clubs. I make it 80, trying to fold out any ace high floats and suited broadways. And to let any 6s through 9s know, I'm going to blow you up on the river, so think before you call. He snap calls, and now we know we're in trouble. We need some big help on this river. We cross our hands under the table and pray to the poker gods. And they send a life vest with the ace of clubs. Let's go. We backdoor the slimiest flush. Goodness gracious. Till this point, we bluffed every street. Now, we're all in for value.
I have a flush. Backdoored it. Man.
Everyone at the table is stunned. I really feel like this hand is a culmination of all my hard work and studying, mixing with some blessings and some luck from the poker gods. We drag in a $600 pot. That was the must move. We get called for the main game, and this game isn't very good, so we just play this one hand. We get dealt ace jack of clubs in the small blind. It's 4 limpers to me, and I squeeze for 30. I get called by under the gun and the cutoff. And this is literally the first hand at the table, so I'm still getting acclimated. 3 ways to a flop of queen, deuce, 10, rainbow with 1 club. I think this board is as good as any to continue. We have a gutter, backdoor clubs, and an ace that's probably live. We block a lot of queen X combinations, so we could rep that as well. We bet 50 as a semi bluff. And no, I don't say semi. Under the gun calls and the cutoff folds. The recording of the turn got corrupted. I don't know what that means, but I could just tell you guys what happened. The dealer peels the turn and it's a 4. It was a rag, but I'm pretty sure it was a 4. I know I could get him to fold any 1-pair hand that's not a queen. So I size up, make it 110, and he folds. We wrap up the session profiting over $700. God is good. Like, comment, subscribe.